Anthony Grasso here, bringing you financial news you can use. It seems like there might be a government shutdown tonight, guys. They've hit a barrier. This is your midday, December 18th, 2020 update on stimulus negotiations. Let's get right into it. So, top Democrats and Republicans in Congress hit a barrier today as they closed in on that $900 billion stimulus deal. There's been a last-minute Republican effort to cut off the Federal Reserve's ability to restart pandemic relief programs and limit the central bank's ability to fight future financial crises. The proposal is fiercely opposed by Democrats, who argue it would revoke a crucial tool to stabilize the sputtering economy, emerged as perhaps the thorniest point of contention among a handful of remaining issues holding up on an agreement. It could take away from the Fed's power as the leader of last resort and curtail President-elect Biden's latitude in dealing with the continuing economic fallout from the pandemic. Congress right now is running out of time to get a stimulus compromise and avoid a government shutdown by tonight at midnight. Negotiators right now are still working to find a resolution, although their wrangling could bleed into the weekend. So even though it could bleed into the weekend, the government shutdown is after tonight, and they would have to vote on that stopgap bill. Even if they were to finalize the deal on Friday, that brief government shutdown was still a possibility if they failed to secure an agreement on a temporary spending bill to keep the government funded past midnight while they drew up legislation and move it to a vote. Now, a senior Democratic aide said that an agreement had been in sight before Senator Patrick Tomley, Republican of Pennsylvania, moved to insert a measure to bar a future Treasury Secretary from restarting Fed emergency loan programs. Now, those programs have kept credit flowing to medium-sized businesses, state and local governments, and corporations amid the pandemic. Concern centered on the broadness of Mr. Tomley's proposal. It would prohibit both those programs and any similar one which could curb the Fed's future ability to keep credit flowing to states and businesses. That while the Fed debate had developed into a major sticking point by Friday morning, and if you want to see all the sticking points that I said last night, check out my video up above right here. It was not the only area of disagreement, and that video goes over all the disagreements that are currently going on right now. Democrats were also making a last-ditch effort to provide emergency aid to states, which they argued was critical to helping them weather the pandemic and avoid huge layoffs and cutting services. But as we know, the Republicans said we're not going to do any liability protection if you do not, if we're not going to give state and government aid. So without liability protections, no state aid. Both disputes could carry heavy consequences for Mr. Biden, who will be taking office facing a cascade of fiscal crises in states around the country that will be even more dire if Congress fails to provide at least some assistance now. Now, Biden did have an interview last night with late-night talk show Stephen Colbert, and Biden said he was praying for the bill to pass, but said more funding would be needed when he took office. So he's saying he wants to do another stimulus package going on into the next year. He said, we're going to need more. We're going to need more vaccine. We're going to need more money. We're going to need more to get this distributed. So yes, the stimulus plan under discussion would provide badly needed relief after months and months of stalled negotiations. So let's just briefly go over what the stimulus package might include. A new round of stimulus payments, probably around $600 to American adults, a temporary infusion of enhanced jobless aid at $300 a week, rental and food assistance. It would revive a program for struggling small businesses and provide funding for schools, hospitals, and distribution of vaccine. But the question is, and I'm going to answer this right now, is a shutdown tonight possible? The answer is yes. There's a huge possibility as of midday, December 18th, that the shutdown will happen at 12:01 Eastern Time. Now, and at least one senator signaled a brief weekend shutdown was possible after failing to force a vote on the proposal that would provide $1,200 direct payments on the floor today. Josh Hawley, a Republican of Missouri, on Friday morning warned that he would not agree to extend government funding past the Friday deadline until he could review the proposal congressional leaders were negotiating and ensure it included direct payments. So Tomley said without the proposal in hand, that $600 legislative bill that they're going to negotiate on, he's not even going to vote yes on a extension of the government shutdown. Not good news. So far for now, we've been in the dark for days on end with absolutely no idea what's actually in the package. Mr. Hadley told reporters, we don't know what's in the package. So everything I described is just coming out of one caucus over here, these senators over here. So what are they agreeing on in all the proposals? Well, it's just all proposals right now. Nothing's in written legislative text. Howley said, I am not willing to sit by and be told nothing and be given no information and just be asked to just do what you're told. He's not going to do what he's just told. He wants to see the meat. So there you have it, guys. This is the midday update, December 18, 2020. I will bring you live update later tonight on if the government shutdown is actually going to happen. So if you like this video, smash that like button down below and consider subscribing if you like financial news you can use. And stay tuned for the next stimulus updates. Ciao.